This begins lesson 10.3 part B. Now I'm going to go through this piece right here one more time because it involves a couple additional steps because of the complexity of the logarithm. We have two logarithms being subtracted that we have to clean up. But before I can put those two together, I have to clean up this one first. This one uses the one property where it says 4 times log of x is the same as, I'm going to change this, log base 2 of x to the 4th. That was one of the properties we discussed. The power can be put down in front and multiplied times the log. When I change that, I'm then able to take care of the other log and say, okay, well, they're being subtracted. Now order matters with this, so we have to be careful. Log base 2 of, the first one is in the numerator, the second one is in the denominator, and that is an equivalent statement. The twos are getting ugly. Okay. Now you have one log on the left side, one log on the right side. You can then drop them, and you're refocusing on just what is in the parentheses. So we can solve this. If you want to do this as a proportion, it's up to you. 5 times 125 gives you 625. X to the 4th times 1 is x to the 4th. So we need to take the 4th root of 625, and that is 5. Alright, now we're going to take a look at, I don't want to call them puzzles. They're kind of puzzles because they're doing specific rules, but it is all our ability to rethink what something looks like to take us from a dead end to something more usable. Now here they give us basically a clue. Right? They want us to approximate the value. Now remember, we cannot do this on your calculator. It's base 5. But we can do it with a little bit of information here. This is clue number 1. We also have in our little handy-dandy toolbox here is that we found out yesterday the log of base 5 of 5 is equal to 1. Those two things together give us 2 clues to do this problem. So first of all, we want to rewrite log base 5 of 250 to something more useful. So we're going to say log base 5 of 250 is the same as log base 5 of, and then we say, well, how can we write 250? And we want to think of it as 2's and 5's. And I did some work here for you, but the idea is to do this more expeditiously. 2 times 5 to the 3rd is 250. So those are the prime factors. So you can do upside down division if you like. Remember how we did 250? And then, okay, what goes into that? 2, 125, etc. And you get 2 times 5 times 5 times 5. Now this is more useful to us. We can then write this as log base 5 of 2 plus log base 5 of 5 to the 3rd. Okay, which allows us to say log base 5 of 2 plus 3 log base 5 of 5. That's using the property where the exponent comes out to the front. Now, this is helpful because we know what log base 5 of 2 is. It's about 0.4307. Log 5 of 5 is 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. And we get 3.4307. So a little bit of a puzzle, but not much. Now here we have log base 6 of 4. And we want to use this information. Those two things can help us. Both base 6, but now we want to think of 8s and 32s. So how can 8 and 32 relate to 4? Well, log base 6 of 32 divided by 8 is the same as log base 6 of 4, because 32 divided by 8 is 4. How does that help us? Well, if it's division, we can write them as log base 6 of the numerator minus log base 6 of the denominator. And we know those two numbers. 1.1601. Oops, pardon me, all the way around. Log base 6 of 8 is 1.1606. Log base 6 of 32 is 1.9343. And we're supposed to subtract them. That gives us 0.7737. All right, last one. We have this information. We want to figure out this. So in other words, how does 6 relate to 216? Again, this is the clue. It tells us we have to look at 6. And if you try it, you'll realize that 216 is the same as log base 5 of 216 is the same as 6 to the 3rd power. So we can use the property that takes this power out to the front. So it's 3 times log base 5 of 6. In other words, 3 times 1.1133, which gives us 3.3399. So the last ones here are kind of puzzles. I say that just because you got to really think, but they do have clues that will help you through it. And what they give you are the clues that will help you decide where to go and how to modify what you have to what you can use. This ends lesson 10.3, part B.